reason they were worth that much and they just had a crap year. No, I'm telling like there's not even that. Here's the words. There isn't sixth highest salary in the league excitement for these players. Like, even if they fail, I'm talking like I'd just at least be excited and then watch a train wreck. Like, that would be better and a better experience.
And you know what's the worst part is that, yeah, we have the sixth highest payroll in the league, but we're at the bottom of the barrel. And on top of that,
yeah, and we've always been at the bottom of the barrel.
You know, we see other teams making moves, MLS players, MLS guys, you know, joining other teams for a lot less of what we paid for Sekulic, for a lot less what we paid for Gaston, you know.
And it goes back to the idiot running the fucking team.
For a lot less than we paid for Casper. Like, how many strikers that other teams signed for like 500, you know, GAM?
I would have rather rolled the dice on Jossie.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, that's listen, for me, the Chicago Fire and U.S. men's national team are completely different. Like, you know, players like Paul Arriola, if Bearhalter calls him in, I'm pissed. If he was on the Fire, I would root for him so hardcore every week. I would be so happy we had him.
He'd be great,
right?
On the Fire. That's like Mueller.
Right. It's the difference in levels, right? For me. And that's how I see it. Like, so it's just like Gyasi Zardes would be such an exciting player in comparison of Shabilko.
How much did they get for the trade?
I don't know, like 100,000 and something.
It was like $500K or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? It was like 400, I think. Actually.
Yeah, think about that. 400K for a guy like Gyasi Zardes, when the Fire went out of their way and paid 1.2 million for a guy like Casper.
That was it. We just follow up dumb money with dumb money with dumb money in a league where you can't do that.
And the other thing, Gyasi was a goal scorer. This other guy, he's just a tall guy who just happens to score goals.
Yeah, like Zardes is a proven goal scorer.
And even though Zardes did have a crappy season, let's not get that wrong.
Twisted, yep.
Like, I'm just saying this. Like, at this point, I'm looking for excitement. I'm not even looking for success. I just want to be excited.
And I thought Shaqiri would give us that a few moments, but those moments were really far between. How many long shots did Shaqiri ever take?
Well, it's still like, there just was so much there was so little around him. Even when we signed him, it was like, well, no, I mean, that's great and all, but what else?
We didn't even bring Mueller. Mueller wasn't even here at the time of signing.
Exactly.
And Mueller was like his best teammate.
You know, we got a steal with Mueller.
That was a good signing. The dude made one good signing. You know, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Right. Exactly.
Jairo Torres, do you think we're going to see something better out of him next year? I think we will.
I think he wants out already.
Really?
I think it's one of those things like, I couldn't prove myself right away. I'm already behind the 8 ball. Fans are already pissed. I'm already not happy about this place because I'm already seen the toxic locker room of a crappy team.
Too.
Go ahead.
Not only that, but it's like he's probably saying like, I lost my spot to like a 19-year-old.
To 19-year-old American.
Yep.
Guti.
I mean, Guti should be good. It just, I can't. I call it my version of seasonal depression. Is like, it's like how women have a baby and forget how much it hurts. Like, come March, I'm gonna be like, oh, I think we're gonna do great.
That's me every season, man. That's me every season. I see the signings, I see the little flashing lights and everything, and I'm thinking, oh man, we're going to the playoffs, and it just ends in disappointment.
It hurts, dude. Because
you know what?
What up?
No, like Toke, what you're talking about, like have the team be exciting. It's like, I was just thinking about this. I'm like, you know what? You don't have to be a freaking supporter shield winner or like the second best, second place team in the MLS. Just be a scrappy team that makes it to the playoff. Makes things a little exciting
with some personality.
Imagine if we had a Columbus-like team here, which they make the playoffs sometimes, they win MLS Cup sometimes, they sometimes don't.
And they sometimes have flashy and fun people like Zelarion and stuff. And
Zardes and Lucho.
Right, they'll get a good season or two out of a Zardes and
They
then
even
move
had
on
Pippa.
at the proper time.
Didn't they have
You know?
Higuain? They had Higuain.
You're right,
Yeah.
little Higuain, or was he the older one?
Yeah, they had little Higuain. Yeah.
Literally going, yeah,
Pippa.
and have like some sort of like like clutch scorer, like have one of those games where it's like 1-1 or 0-0, and out of nowhere, 90th minute, boom, the Fire take the lead type of team. That's kind of what I want. Like I don't, yeah, it might be, it'll be great if there were, supporter shield caliber teams, but at this point, with what we have seen these past decade, I'll take a scrappy team that has personality, that's exciting to watch, and doesn't have to be a world beater, but a team that goes to the playoffs at least.
It was almost sad because like Gaga so badly wanted to be that guy and have that personality and stuff, and everything else around him was so boring and terrible that everybody was like, yay. And just, he like, you know what I mean? He so badly wanted to be that big personality, that Chicago boy, that, like that scrappy guy. And he's just everybody else around him just sucked.
They shit the bed.
Yeah, he was the hype man. He was like the one guy that was like really hyped up. Like you can almost see like he's a fan first almost.
Well, it's a guy who knows, like, some people know I want to be a club legend. And that's a weird thing to say, but like, look, you could be Roger Levesque and be a club legend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be, it's not all about it. An Aqua Fenwa, which I love bringing up. You know what I mean? Like, you can be that kind of guy, like the big personality and good enough to be, mostly on the field and, everything else. But it just, yeah.
He could be like the Jeff Plum, of the White Sox.
Dude, and it breaks my heart too, because you know what's gonna happen too is something else, not just Gaga, but like the media team. They kill it, dude. All the videos they put out, everything they do on like the YouTube channel, they kill it, but most of the players are boring and the fans aren't happy about them not being very good at soccer as well. And so like I don't watch it.
Who's clicking
on
mean? These things? That's the thing. Like,
yeah,
we are the
exactly.
people that would be clicking on these things, and we are so butthurt and we're just gutted by this team. It's like, you want me to consume more content of this? It's like, we do it on this podcast. Like, you want us to consume more? I'll click on it if it's good, and it is. It's always so good. But then at a certain point, it's like it's good, but it's about the Fire.
Yeah, exactly. And you
that's
lose interest.
The problem. And I mean, we're all interested in the Fire, but we're not interested in this Fire, this Chicago Fire. We're interested in the idea of what the Chicago Fire could be. We're interested in the idea of what the Chicago Fire used to be. We're not into this iteration of the club at all and the choices it's making, but we're still attached.
It's tough not to be. Like, what else? Like, what else am I going to care about? I laughed. I told my fiance and her and her friend were hanging out in the living room, and I was just like, "Oh my god, oh this sucks." And she's like, "What happened?" I was like, "The absolute possible worst thing that could happen to me that actually doesn't affect my life."
Yes.
Yeah, that's what. I told my wife, like, yeah, Wednesday nights, I'm gonna hop on this podcast or YouTube thing. And she's like, at first, like, yeah, go for it. Then later on, she's like, why you even do that? Like, nobody cares about the Fire.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get over here and watch this kid.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, she has a point. If the Fire were actually winning, then things would be a little bit different. We might actually have a lot more people tuning into, to this show.
And more content, and more people out there trying to make content. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of podcasts. There are, but sometimes sometimes it's a few too many. Sometimes there could be a few too many, because we're all talking about the same topic. But at the same time, we all offer something different. I think that's the nice thing about the Chicago Fire podcast. Everybody kind of does offer a little something different.
They're like the soccer conversation is really good, or the Chicago soccer conversation is really good. Jiggly and at Onnod or whatever they're out there doing their thing.
Yep.
The Hotcast.
Good too.
What's the Hotcast?
I think Ruben does something. Ruben does something with somebody.
Oh, for real? I followed that cat on Twitter for like a decade at this point.
Ruben did. He shoots. So he does podcasts with Adnan occasionally too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Do you guys remember what was that Mi Vida de Fuego?
Fuego, Dave.
Yeah. Remember that? Yeah.
They were so good. I always wanted to get them on the show.
Yeah, that shit was. They were good, man. But yeah, dude, like. That's the thing is, why it's stale, not stale. That's rude to say because, I mean, we're listing them. Obviously, we listen or check in, right? But like the reason why there isn't like 10 more and the reason why there isn't like 10 more angles to have is because there isn't anything interesting happening.
Right.
There is no actual excitement. Like everyone is fed the same 3 lines. We all get excited for the first 2.5 months. And then it's just this, and it's like, why are people watching people complain?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Oh, by the way, James, I'm watching your stream. Start sliding. You're gonna get him killed. You're gonna lose Justin Fields for the season.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't.
So it's like, man, it's like how bad does this guy has to really mess up? Like this guy almost sounds like a government employee at this point,
Yes.
It's hard to get him fired. So now it's like, great. Now we're gonna miss the playoffs again next season. Why get excited now? Why? Yeah, there might be a little bit of transfer rumors going around. I know last
we don't
week,
have money for transfers. We don't do what we do. We do have a DP slot. Now
we got to. That's all we have. Unless Heights falls down and bumps his head, and then all of a sudden becomes a genius.
But wait.
But is one player going to solve anything? No,
one player's not going to solve the problems. And also,
we could sign Holland. Well, okay, if we signed Holland, that would solve all the problems. But literally any other player, it wouldn't it wouldn't fix anything.
Not only that, but we're like really Heights is a really bad deal maker. Like we're paying some of these guys a lot of money that they're not even worth half of that. And some of these moves are head scratchers. Like, man, how the hell are we paying Sekulic close to $700K?
Head scratcher.
Think about that.
Sekulic's agent walks in and he said, "All right, so we want $400K. Deal. Here's 7."
Exactly. He probably had that conversation with Sekulic before he walked in the meeting. Like, hey, look, man, you might get $200K. I'm gonna say $400, okay? And they're like, yeah. And then Heights on the other end. Oh my God, we gotta sign this guy. Oh my God, do you think we should give him $1 million? We should give him $1 million, right? We should give him let's start a little low. Let's do 600 something K.
There was an article I read the other day, and it was talking about how these teams are shooting themselves in the foot. It didn't cover the Fire. It talked about Toronto and St. Louis specifically. It talked about how St. Louis has signed Roman Berkey for their goalkeeper to the tune of like $1.6 million for his salary, and they're pushing him down to Tamstas. But the fact that they're putting out such a huge outlay on just a goalkeeper, when there's a whole bunch of cheaper goalkeepers available inside of MLS, like right now, it seems silly. It seems like such a waste of money. Then going over to the Toronto situation, they're spending like $2-3 million on outside backs, Crescito being one of them, in a position that typically you could get for much cheaper in MLS. It's like these teams are not playing Moneyball in the right spots.
Maybe not, but are we not all under the agreement that Toronto is going to be way better, even if they don't make a lot of signings in this offseason?
1,000%.
You know what? It all depends. Who's the current coach right now for that team?
Bradley.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? I don't know about that because think about it. Bob Bradley was a coach for LAFC at one point.
Yeah, when they were dope, when they were even better than this season.
They never put it together though under Bob.
Oh, are you kidding me, dude? Like, screw this league with their playoffs, dude.
I'm starting to think that.
They dominated the entire season, had one bad game that had, I'm pretty sure there was kind of not a lucky goal, but kind of like a Oh, okay, yeah, everything worked perfectly for you to get that goal kind of situation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you lose one game, and after, like, didn't they win the Shield by, like, 15 points or 20 points or
Yeah,
something
this year.
ridiculous?
This year,
No, hold on.
they won it this year
Well,
with
yeah.
what's his face? Steve, was it Cherundolo coaching
Yeah,
that team?
hey, you get that man's name out your mouth. Steve Cherundolo is a saint, and I will not have it any other way.
No, Cherundolo. You know what? At this point, you know what? I will give up my autographed team jersey to have that man coach the Fire.
Right?
I will give up my 2017 autographed jersey with Basti's auto on there.
Get him in control of the Fire.
Yeah. You know, the thing about it, man, is just I don't know how confident I would feel if I had Bob Bradley as a coach. I think he.
You think the league has passed him by?
I think so. I think he's done. Maybe he should start looking at retirement at this point.
I think he should too. I mean, to me, the writing was on the wall when he went to go back to play with his son, and it just created problems. It created a whole bunch of problems for Toronto that they did not need. You do that when they're young and they're still good. You don't do that when they're old and it's time to sit them.
No, dude, this was like there's a reason why no one talked about his job being in jeopardy.
Right.
This was always going to be a tank season.
Yeah.
So he relied on his son to not break his leg and play every game to get him to the end of this year when they finally had the stable of Italians and kind of tried to develop something. Trust me, there's going to be a complete turnaround next season.
They're Italians in the summer, and nothing changed. They actually finished below the Fire.
Yeah, I mean, they were just so far behind at the beginning. But
I mean, then you also have to think about how their salary cap is looking like, because I'm sure that stable of Italians you're talking about, that's a big, it's a big chunk of change there. So unless they're gonna get by academy players again, or they're gonna go on the cheaps and get some cheap players that might not be all that great, it might be a rough season.
Well, you forget of how cheap the Canadian player still is.
Well, maybe, but I think the other. Oh no, it's Montreal. Was it Montreal? I'm not sure, but I was actually. I don't know. Maybe. Can someone tell me the strikers for the Toronto FC team?
Bernadeschi.
God.
And
Akindele, is he still there?
Akindele, yeah, I think he's still there.
Dude, I would take him on the Fire.
For what team you were asking, DPG?
Toronto.
Toronto FC. Out. Akinola.
I wonder how much those guys are making a year, and then compare that to the Italians, and then compare that to how much what's the max they could have on salary.
Send us Mark Anthony K, and we'll send you over Toronto. We'll send you over what's our striker, our tall Polish striker. Give
Shabilko.
Give them Shabilko. We'll take Mark. It seems like a good fair trade. We're not taking the best midfield though, which is Juan Osorio, Jonathan Osorio. But we'll take Mark Anthony K over here. I think would be an improvement.
And Richie Larea too.
Yeah,
take that cap.
Yep, there's an
I mean, that's a decent chunk of change. The thing about it too is like I don't think that anyone's gonna give us. They won't even give us a vending machine for Casper at this point. They won't pay our.
Yeah, they won't. No, I mean, yeah, nobody wants I shouldn't say nobody. You know what's gonna happen is like a San Jose is gonna sign him. It's gonna be like, wow, what a breakout 12-goal season for Casper Shabilko over in San Jose.
Yep.
Like it'll just hurt.
He recovered from his back injury out of nowhere.
Excuse me. I just got over having bronchitis, bro. That sucked. Dude, you know what? As much as that sucked, knowing it wasn't COVID was great.
That's nice.
That's what happens when you're a vegan, man. You get all sorts of all these weird diseases.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Who the hell gets bronchitis in September?
It's October.
Okay, then early October. We haven't even seen. Well, let me take that back. We haven't seen more than a foot of snow yet, and you're getting bronchitis.
Unless you live in Indiana.
Nah.
Oh my God.
Dude,
Let's all eat. Let's all eat some makeup food. Let's all eat some grass-made food.
You know
Yay.
what? I
No one.
DPG. I will off stream. I will tell you my theory of what happened.
Oh Jesus!
No,
Now I'm getting. Now I'm thinking. Okay, you know what? Yeah. I think I might have an idea.
I don't think you do actually.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's probably not as sensational as I just made it sound, but yeah, still not. You know what? What's it? NSFW or some shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of strikers, I tweeted about this the other day. Let me pull this up. I was asking about the U.S. men's